Gary McKinnon, the man who hacked into NASA and American military computers, has refused to have any more medical examinations as he fights extradition to the United States. US authorities want Gary, who's from Wood Green, to be flown to America to face trial there. While he admits hacking into computers, he says he was looking for evidence of UFOs. But if he's convicted of the American charges he faces, he could be jailed in America for 60 years. However, his legal team has warned he's simply not well enough for a trial. After I interviewed him 4 years ago now, Gary was diagnosed with Aspergers syndrome, a form of autism. His doctors have now said his mental condition is such that if he were to be extradited to America, he could commit suicide. If you had American officials sitting in here now, what would you say to them?
Gives a job.
You wouldn't say sorry?
Oh, I've already said sorry many times. I've said sorry in writing. I've said sorry to them through my solicitors when they've had face-to-face meetings with them. I've offered to work for them.
As I say, that was 4 years ago now. As you can see, Gary's mother, Janis Sharp, is with me. Janis, why is Gary refusing to have these medical examinations?
Because the person that's been appointed by the Home Office doesn't have any expertise in Aspergers, and someone who can't assess suicide risk or been unfit for trial because they don't have the expertise to do so. Psychiatrists judge that sort of thing by facial expressions, by body language, by voice. People with Asperger's don't have very many facial expressions. They have a very monotone voice and they don't have that sort of body language. And National Autistic Society has written to them twice to say that this is not good, that they have to have an expert.
But wouldn't it be to his advantage to effectively play the game by at least cooperating? Because by not cooperating, doesn't it look like he's, well, trying to hide something?
Well, he's had so many assessments, that's not realistic. Dr Vermeulen, who assessed him in April, who has said he's unfit for trial and extreme risk of suicide, is a Home Office approved expert in assessing risk. He's done hundreds of reports for the Home Office. Gary has also been assessed by Professor Murphy face-to-face. He was one of the ones appointed. When he assessed Gary face-to-face, he said extreme risk of suicide. Professor Simon Baron-Cohen, the most famous in the world, has said the same thing. Gary has had so many, and the mental illness in the family, his grandmother having been mentally ill, and his other grandmother had actually been in a mental institution for 50 years, and Gary had been to a neurologist when he was young. They've got more evidence than they could ever imagine that they would have.
All right, well, how is Gary now?
Gary's much, much worse because we had so much hope. When David Cameron went to President Obama and they spoke about it on television, we thought it was incredible and we thought that was over. A year later, he raised it again with President Obama. Again, we thought it was over. And all this up and down for 10 years, it destroys your life. All this hope's raised, hope dashed, it totally destroys your life.
OK, very quickly, Janis, do you have any idea when the Home Office is expected to make its final decision?
Well, any time now. We've asked them to rest on the evidence that we have, and they have refused lots of other extraditions with much less medical evidence.
All right, Janis Sharp, thank you very much for talking to us.
Thank you.